Oh my gosh, what is up, you guys? I hope you're doing well. We are here for our Aries new moon solar eclipse. This is a total eclipse. I believe the path of totality is going through Indiana, maybe? I should know this, but anyway, here we are. Mercury retrograde, full swing. Chiron is active. I think that there is another comet I didn't even know about called Devil's Comet. If I heard that right, I may be communicating that wrong in a Mercury retrograde. There's another comet coming into play. Jupiter is, expanded and expanding Venus in Taurus. So there's so much energy and like explosive, like raw potential in the air. It's insane. And so I know we're all feeling it. Last night I did an episode on ascension symptoms, and I think I forgot to talk about just the heightening of intuition, psychic abilities, healing abilities, those energy, spiritual, kind of talents and technologies are becoming activated as we elevate. So lots of bizarre, stuff going on. I do have this bouquet of roses. They were told, so I saw this reader on TikTok that came up, and I connect with her, but I only watch her videos when I feel like I'm supposed to, and I barely have time to watch anything. So I watched a video the other day, and it was so on point, so crazy. I was like weeping, I was releasing so much. And then she was like, and the next time you go in the store, there's a bunch of flowers that your passed over loved one wants you to get. I knew she was talking about best friend Trace. And then I saw these flowers. I was like, at first I was like, there's no flowers in this Kroger. Like sometimes there is, but there wasn't. And I was like, wait. And I looked over, and these were there. And I love these kind because it's like the blush of first life. It's that like baby being born, kind of pink. It's that new love, innocence. There's still like the green and the white elements on the petals. Like I just always feel so drawn to those particular kind of roses. I think energetically for a beginning right now, for a rebirth, they're very loving and supportive and very like rose quartz energy, but also like they help support the opening of the heart chakra because they're that unconditional love pink and also green, which both help working with those chakras if you're trying to open and enhance and activate your heart chakra right now. So basically, I'm wearing red for Mars for Aries. I couldn't not. It's like the same red as my nails. I love it. It's my color. My aura has been taken, the photo has been taken before, and my natural like base aura is red and magenta. So I'm feeling all of this. It's amazing. So eclipses can sometimes be pretty hairy, but this particular one feels very exciting, and it feels like it's leading to a lot of momentum and expansion and new growth. If you have already been preparing for this, if not, that you could just be propelled into a bunch of change with a lot of heightened energy in the air, but with no vessel to channel it through. And so if you've been with me for a while, you will know what I'm about to start talking about because we've been building the vessel together. So for like 2-3 years now on this channel, we've been talking about like this new timeline that we're going into, almost as if Life, the Netflix series where we were the main character, got canceled, but it was like, no, it's okay, we're picking it back up. It's just going to be like the same main character and a lot of the similar characters and similar, circumstances and settings, but like the old rules don't have to apply. Like the old character dynamics, they don't have to apply anymore. All the old stories, all the old beliefs, right? So we've been in this weird pre-production stage, so to speak, in limbo for like a couple of years now. The first year it was like 2021, 2022 was about like making those big changes and starting to clear the path, starting to clear the way for a new foundation to be laid. And so by 2023, at the beginning of 2023, we were really kind of laying that foundation and gaining like more clarity about the framework and the structure of like what we were now building and what we were going towards, the life and the self that we could envision and see being birthed. That was being literally conceived within us. Then, so during most of 2023, it was like giving birth, like being pregnant with this new self and like getting and like going through like long and arduous labor pains and contractions to give birth to this new self, whilst also going through a death of the old self. So it's all going on simultaneously. It's all crazy. And the new destiny is being written in accordance with like that transformation. What have we been changing? Have we been facing fears? Have we been facing insecurities? Have we been looking at our shadow parts and owning, you know, our faults and our weaknesses and our mistakes and trying to start like polishing those and refining them and healing them and elevating, right? Are we trying to become elevated souls and elevate our consciousness? And so if we've been doing the work and literally been taking actions to set ourselves up, then it's like we are now literally, that last eclipse in Libra, the new moon or the full moon lunar eclipse, was like stepping through the first portal. We've been in this bridge like over the past couple of weeks after that lunation, in this like limbo where like things are kind of like all up in the air and coming together. And imagine if you were like going through a portal to another dimension and you were in this like quantum space and all your particles were like you know, in flux and everything is changing and it's all mutating and it's going to spit you out into this new reality. And so this solar eclipse is like whipping you into the new reality. And so what reality are you getting spit out into, right? Have you ever been down a water slide, like shot out at the end and you're like, whoa? It's kind of feeling like that. And so, you know, the ascension video, symptoms video from last night will help just do some like basic, it'll give you some basic tools to ground and purge and cleanse right now. And just some context about what might be going on with you, like emotionally, energetically, mentally, physiologically. But so Aries is the birth of the zodiac. And so not only is it the birth of this new year, we're also birthing this new cycle. And lo and behold, didn't realize this, but literally this past week or so, we have entered into the Age of Aquarius. So we've been literally preparing like subliminally for this shift that is like this collective shift in consciousness that we've been talking about, that we've been holding space for, but I didn't know that it was like legitimately like an astrological, you know, movement in the shift of like the ages of man also. So that's really incredible. So that, I don't know, I guess gives us some validity to like if we needed it. I think we're pretty like willing to like go with it on this channel. So we're in this new beginning, right? And so each day we talk about this too. We do our work, we show up, we try to be sovereign beings. We try to be in a state of cause consciousness and be detached enough to observe life. Why is this in my movie? What is this trying to tell me? What can I do with this? How can I shift or learn or heal or like bypass this, get through this challenge, you know, not bypass it, but like, how can I move through or like solve challenges, you know, find solutions or growth paths. So it's like propelling us. So we're in this new beginning. We're birthing this new identity that's been coming up within us. This is Aries. Aries is the self, right? So there's going to be a sudden shift and change and enlightenment in the way that we see ourselves and letting go all of the old stories that held us back. And so that shed of density and weight and anchors, and imagine like a hot air balloon with like ropes and like sandbags just holding it down. That's all going to be clipped away, or it should be being clipped away. You're doing it actively through like exercises and conscious will and choosing to do that. And so each day we see the lessons coming at us, we see tests, we see triggers, and we pass them in the way that we feel like our higher self is leading us to do that. And, you know, we keep our prayer practice, we keep our meditation practice, we keep our journaling practice, we keep these spiritual practices going so that we can cultivate and maintain that consciousness. Because the more that we can become like the creator and maintain that affinity with the creator, then we're in vibrational resonance with creator. Our vessel can sustain the light that wants to come in because it is in resonance with it. It is like picking up the right frequency and they can connect. without cracking the vessel, right? And the vessel requires self-worth to be able to receive all that you deserve, right? If you don't think you're worth anything, your vessel is small, it's closed, right? It's shallow. You're like, I'll just take the crumbs. But if your vessel is big, it means that you deserve a lot. Now, how strong is your vessel? How much weight, how much payload can it manage without cracking under the pressure, right? And that's going to depend on your certainty in the light of the Creator. And certainty is more than just faith. It's more than just hope that some entity will cast favor on you. Certainty is understanding that there are spiritual laws in the universe that are more uncompromising than gravity. Like, there's no negotiating. And so once you understand at least the rules and the framework of the dimension that is the real, like, spiritual plane, like, we understand how to work and move and walk as toddlers within the physical plane, right? I know gravity, I know things fall down, I know that hot, very dangerous, that electrocution, but we don't know how to interact with the literal spiritual and energetic laws that are all around us that are functioning. It's like driving in blind in the dark and like being at the wheel with like no idea how to operate the vehicle. So again, knowing, okay, if I remain like in a state of well-being and fulfillment and confidence in the light of the Creator, that all is well, that all is taken care of, then I'm in constant union with the Creator. I'm in that constant womb or under the wing or shield of protection in the bosom of Beloved, who is radiating unconditional provision, love, abundance. And so you're literally in that miracle zone of that flow, and it's all coming in. It's the manifestation, the fulfillment of manifestation, right? So this new self is awakening. Aries, North Node, Libra, South Node, how we used to interact with life, we're leaving all that behind, releasing all of those old patterns of relationship to life and other. And we're learning from that, and we don't need to repeat those lessons anymore. And so we're taking all the wisdom and the experience that we've gained, and now we are embodying that. And we are surrendering the old ego self that was like fighting tooth and nail to keep us in that place on that timeline. And we are now surrendering the care of our full and whole self to the guidance and care of the higher self, who is connected to divine, who has that vision fully laid out of your potential fulfillment in this life, the greatest you, right? You're going to be happy doing that. And so it's like, if you can just let go and trust that you're being pulled and called in that direction, and trust it, and just like go step by step, and each step will be revealed along the way. So this is the moment where we're being whipped into that. So if you are like, the more in alignment with your own authenticity right now, the better. The more you are focused in being true to yourself and having integrity and passing tests and holding that vision and stepping forward and letting old ways behind and keeping your heart and mind open. And also, very importantly, staying in a state of love and joy and connected to the passion of why you're doing what you're doing. You know, that deeper why, that deeper purpose that you have. Not only is it it's serving your fulfillment, but it's also making others, like giving fulfillment to others and making life better for others, and making the world a better place too, hopefully. So again, we're learning to be vessels like the light. And so the light shares for the sake of sharing, not for receiving for the self alone. It's like, okay, I'm going to receive so that my cup runneth over, and I can, gleam and help others gleam. Okay, so lots of healing coming up, old wounds that you're like, oh, okay, it's all coming together. Clarity about life's challenges and the way that you've been wounded and challenged in those themes, and kind of making the connections of what it's all been for, and then applying what you understand to that going forward. And then each day, like when we go to sleep at night, our soul goes up to the upper realms, and we go before the council, and they look and they say, okay, well, what kind of work did you do today? Like, how was your day? Like, what did you accomplish spiritually on a soul level? What needs more work, and that's how they write the script for tomorrow. So each day, our sacrifice, our transformation, writes our destiny for the morrow, and it we up level every time. every time that we give ourselves over to, you know, the dying of the self, right? I'm still in the Easter season, so I'm not giving up Lent until Passover, and so I'm still like meditating on the resurrection and the crucifixion and dying to the self and all of that, and so it just feels like really poignant during this time to maintain that consciousness as we're moving into this new age, because this is the seed level at which we're planting, and everything is going to be flavored from this. And the higher consciousness we are in, and the more unconditional love we're in when we're planting these seeds, the more these things will be blessed, the more that the ease and the flow and the favor will be there, because it'll be about a legacy that you're sharing, rather than something that you're expecting life to give you so that you can, you know, have it, you know. Oh my gosh. Okay, so us in the context of this moment, it's time to take action. Take inspired action. Yang energy. Yang, 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 yang. Follow your inner guidance. Wasting time will cause discontent, stagnation, and even chaos. Don't leave empty vessels around. Empty intentions, things that you meant to do and you haven't, like follow through, or don't put them on the list. Support from the universe. Divine timing meets preparedness. Catch the wave of magic. This is my custom oracle deck. I am hoping to at some point publish this in between everything else I would like to do. The energy that is crossing us now is a lesson you're meant to repeat. Okay, well, yeah, we're in Mercury retrograde. We're about to go into this new age. We're getting spit into it. So life is going to be like, okay, before you go forward, look at your checklist. You know, remember what you just came through. Don't get caught up in the excitement of everything so quick that, like, upon first, you know, time that you're faced with this familiar situation again, because you don't get out of these situations. Life will keep bringing them to you. You're just different, and they're not like you can see through them, and you're like, nah, you know. So a lesson you're meant to repeat. Natural cycles, growth, going deeper, next level. Everything is fine. You're meant to learn something from this. So again, you may be going back into a familiar theme, but it's like it's giving you a chance to do it differently this time, to meet it in a different way. And this isn't saying get back together with a toxic person if it's going to be different this time. That person might very well show up, and it may be your chance to be able to, with a kind and open heart, forgive, but move on, move forward, and say, you know, like, let bygones be bygones. I don't know. It's different for everyone, but you'll know deep down what it is, because you better know what it is by now. It's time to take better care of yourself. So the underlying subconscious influence, the subconscious patterns right now are maybe like always putting other people's needs before your own and not prioritizing your needs. And maybe you have a core wound that stems from a root of my needs don't matter. And then I would go further than that back. Like, why don't you feel that your needs matter? Or why was it that you were made to believe that your needs don't matter? I did an unblocking challenge with 2B Magnetic last summer, and I got to my core wound, and it was, I am inadequate, therefore my needs don't matter, therefore this, therefore that, and then therefore this. And it just like, it ends up being like a tree, a bush that just springs off everywhere from this one core root wound that we're all given. That's like the Chiron wound, right? And so what is yours? Have you discovered that? Because it could be activated in a way that you are finally seeing through going through and repeating that again. Oh, I finally see now, and I see the healing that I've come through, and now I get how I can, you know, use this to better my life, to better the lives of others, and even to maybe like help others get through the similar wound, because now I know how to tell them how to navigate it, or, you know, something of that nature. But it's time to take better care of yourself. How are you supporting and nurturing your mind, heart, body, soul, and spirit? Are you taking good care of your household and finances? Are you kind to yourself? I think that this is good stuff to remember right now, is that literally this card in the subconscious is like pointing out your nervous system. Your nervous system needs care right now too, and that's part of the Ascension Symptoms video. But like, learning how to re-regulate your nervous system and get back into parasympathetic state is going to be very helpful right now, because it's going to help you write the new story and the new identity, and lay new positive patterns and habits in that nervous system instead. And so that's part of the To Be Magnetic work. That's like literally their expertise. And I am an affiliate for them. I think I've manifested that affiliate program because I used to talk about them in every video practically anyway. But I have a link to their membership. It's like you commit to a year. You can't get out of it, but it's $30 a month, or you can pay in full. And I have a coupon code that gives you 15% off if you sign up through me. So I have never regretted that. I've been on their website now for a couple of years, and I love it. But there are other ways to regulate your nervous system, but we won't get into all those now. But you can go watch last night's video, and there's some stuff in there. We talk about it. But yeah, literally, like, you need to take care of your animal body and your nervous system and your mind. Meditation will help, but like really letting your mind, like, caring for it during this time, caring for your emotions and your heart. And everything's really tender right now and fresh and new. So, it's a delicate time. So be kind, be loving to yourself, be nurturing, but in those literal ways too. And it will help to literally clean up your environment, make sure like you're up to date on things you need to take care of, your errands and all of that. Okay, what is in the past, like a situation from the past that is still having an effect on you? I did happen to notice that I saw bad advice wanted to come up, but I realized that I just hadn't shuffled. And then this relationship is worth working on. So maybe you have a new opportunity to approach relationships differently, because maybe you were taking advice from the past before that just really didn't work for you because it wasn't authentic, and it was for whatever reason it wasn't the right advice, or maybe there was foul play, or it wasn't the right time, or there was something about that. So it may not be with this specific person again to go back and repeat that relationship, but there may be like relationships coming that are new, and it's worth working on your ability to like look at that and have better relationships in the future. Maybe re-examine some of the advice that you thought was so true, that maybe doesn't necessarily apply, that was maybe giving you a limited belief that was causing you to hold your real self back, or something that maybe worked against you in the end. So so be authentic. You can be authentic and boundaried and not give everything away all up front, everything about yourself. You can maintain and pace things out and still be real and be who you really are, and all of that, and not try to play games or people please or all of that stuff that really masks our true self, that prevents us from connecting with who's really authentic, or prevents us from really connecting with the person who is authentic, right? So maybe a relationship is worth working on. And then maybe there's just still a lesson from a relationship that is still worth going back and recircling. Maybe it's not even that, and each person, it might be different, but there's layers of this that I'm getting, that maybe there's lessons from a relationship that you're meant to go back and re-examine, because there's something worth learning that will help set you up for the next relationship, Or it could be that Mercury retrograde is bringing somebody back around again, and there's some lesson in it, and who knows how it's going to go, but there's something worth working on, and you just never know what's going to happen anyway. So I guess we'll just see. I guess we will see. What is crowning us? What is crowning us now? Irrational fears. So this is that ominousness that we were talking about in the ascension symptoms, that foreboding joy that is, wow, everything is shifting, everything's going better. I must be being set up for the biggest fall of my life. Everything is going to be, taken, the rug is getting ripped out from under me. It's that ominous feeling that how is everything suddenly just okay? And that's because our nervous systems, Their comfort zone is chaos, crisis, something's wrong. And we literally don't know how to be comfortable in comfortable times. And so that's uncomfortable for us. And so it's unfamiliar and unsettling because we don't want to let our guard down. You know, we don't want to love the comfort and be happy and think we can relax and, you know, whatever, believe that it's all going to be okay. Believe that the rescue ship is not just another pirate ship in disguise. You know, it's like, oh, the mailman finally found me in the cellar, but as it turns out, the whole town's in cahoots. It's like, no, like this time it's like, maybe it's different. Maybe it is, you know, the for real pot of gold over the rainbow. Maybe this is, you know, finally when things start shifting. It's a new day, it's a new story, it's a new timeline. We're leaving behind the past. And that comes with leaving behind the old fears of what used to happen, those old stories that used to play out. You know, maybe we used to be living in a melodrama show with like slight horror, you know, and a comedic, dark, jet black comedy, right, of irony and sorrow. But like maybe now we're moving into more of like an adventure buddy movie with some romantic comedy elements, you know, and we're like, well, we're not used to this. I need to get a whole new wardrobe, you know, like the character needs to upgrade. I look like I've been through, you know, one of the Speed movies right now, and now I'm going into something that's more like, you know, I don't know, Mamma Mia, hopefully. Love Grease. So yeah, irrational fears are crowning you. So maybe you don't give them too much validity. Just keep moving through the fears and see them as a good sign that you're on the right track and that you're on the hero's journey and that it requires risk. It's a good match. Wow, like sometimes, you know, when you want to throw like the thing, you're just like, you know, why can't you just be practical and realistic? And it's like, why are you filling me up with this hogwash, this baloney? Okay, well, it's a good match. So that's a card said. Romantic chemistry worth exploring. I mean, a lot of messages have been moving in this direction. It's like there can be a surge of like positive expansion in our career and our finance and our love and our money in our romantic lives. You know, when things are beautifying in their life, it usually just kind of all like kind of is connected in like this sponge kind of way. Romantic chemistry worth exploring, something to be learned. Again, the learning thing. Resonance, compatibility, a mirror, a worthy adversary, a good pairing, mixes well, two parts enhanced when brought together. And so this a good match. It can also be like a good business collaboration or a good aspect that you are adding into a brand or a business. You know, aspects that once combined work really well, or like this works really well in the structure of this, or maybe you wanted to put an add-on onto your house. It's like whatever it is, you're like trying to make something one that two parts into one or collaborate. It's a good match, it's a good fit. Okay. The next card represents our perspective that is affecting us at the moment. Our perception that's affecting us right now is that this is a dead end, and this is the irrational fear that it's just all a dead end. What's the point? Every time I get every door I knock on gets slammed in face, you know, kind of thing. Like I feel that way sometimes, and it's just like, like this is a dead end. Futile attempts, fruitless efforts, just passing through a temporary experience. Nothing significant will grow of this. I'm going to slide down the wall. I'm going to lament. What's the point? I'm going to be apathetic and resign myself to what? Just like the same cycle again and again. We're jumping timelines. Take a gamble. Be willing to make a mistake. Like, you know, for once, be some flighty flibbertigibbet. It's like, who cares? Whatever. No big deal. But yeah, maybe it's not going to be a dead end. The fear, the irrational looming cloud holding over you and holding you back and holding you down is that you're afraid that everything's a dead end because there's so many things that you've done that have been temporary seasons and cycles and lessons that maybe you had a lot of really short things that you learned in a fast amount of time that other people don't have to learn. And that might be professionally and in love and in relationships. And so maybe you had all of these partial little startup projects that you feel all this shame about because you never really took it anywhere. And then suddenly you realize by, you know, the last piece coming together that you've actually built a set of skills that are cohesive that make you very like valuable and hireable, right? So the outer like effect that's having, like the outer world's effect on us now is that you're making too big of a deal of this. So don't worry about anything. Like, love your manna for the day, gather the manna for the day, be grateful for the manna for the day, be in the day, be so in the day that you don't realize that the whole day is gone and you've been at it for like 18 hours and you're so like into whatever it is. And also balancing the taking care of yourself, right? And you're like, the only thing that you're missing now is sleep because you're just so excited about life. So don't make everything a big deal. Just stay focused on what needs to be done, what's nourishing your soul, what is moving you forward, what's pushing the needle forward, and what is bringing that soul into blossom right now. Because the more that we can enhance that part of ourselves, the more the path will bloom before us. Let's stop thinking of it as like this concrete path, like laid in stone, and more like the path is revealing because the flowers bloom and lead us along the way. The path blooms before us. It lights up. It comes to life. The trees, they blossom. Okay, and then hopes and fears. This is our hopes and fears right now. I can feel the card. Bad advice. Oh my gosh. So it's like, this bad advice is fucking with everything that we hope, and like it's causing us to have fears about what we hope and fearing that we won't get what we hope for, and hoping that that what we fear won't happen, and it's entangling everything. So someone around you is trying to give you advice. Their advice may seem logical, but it is wrong for you. Don't take it. The traditional way won't work for you this time. Ask yourself if the source of this advice could have an agenda. Consciously or unconsciously, the advice giver has their own baggage and or motives. So, okay, I want to pull one more card on that. Our hopes and fears are being triggered by bad advice right now. So here's 3 cards. What does it say? Find a coach or teacher. This is where your soul is calling you, and indecision is keeping you in a stalemate. So that's pretty straightforward. Okay, so find a coach or a teacher. More study is needed, apprentice, enthusiastic student, continued education, training, mastering a skill. This is where your soul is calling you. The desire of your soul has a purpose. You are being called toward an experience that can serve to elevate your soul in some way. Whether pleasant or not, you are meant to experience this for your soul's healing and expansion. Trust this urge. Explore this path, even if only temporarily. So stop being so indecisive. Don't worry about the traditional advice, right? It may not apply to you this time. Don't pay attention to outside advice. Pay attention to that deep calling, and then pay attention when that perfect teacher or coach or mentor presents. The universe will send you someone. Ask for a sign to appear in and around that meeting so that you know it's confirmed if you need that. And then outcome, what is our probable outcome? What is, I thought I saw keep the love tank full. So it's like, that's a big theme right now. It's just like, stay like vibrating in love, loving everything, loving the coffee cup you're drinking out of, everything, because you're in scarcity mode. So this irrational fear, the bad advice, and feeling like it's a dead end, like is keeping you stuck. Even if you don't consciously think that, there's the deepest part of you is like, it subconsciously still believes that. So you need to rewrite and reprogram your nervous system to get out of scarcity mode. And you can do that within the To Be Magnetic workshops. Shameless plug, but this is the tool that has helped me the most as far as like rewriting the nervous system and doing the self-help in a structured way, paired with like Kabbalah, my spirituality. Those are the 2 modalities that I use hand in hand, and they're so intertwined. Okay, so we're in scarcity mode. So let's get one more card on that. So you need more planning. So it's just like the more clarity that you have, the more you're prepared. Get in touch with a coach or mentor. Don't feel like you have to do this all on your own, but it's keeping you timid. It's keeping you from being all in and guns blazing and all of that, like piss and vinegar. You need to go in, but you also, like, it's wise to take your time and be prudent and know what you're doing and plan and be intentional. So look for coaches, look for people who are already doing this, or maybe you already know who this is, or like take a class, or like find free YouTube stuff on it, but you need to like do a little bit more planning. And I think having a plan and being organized about that and knowing what you need to execute in the order that you need to do it is going to take a lot of the over-analysis, paralysis, and overwhelm. And in order to break through overwhelm, you just need to take like intentionally guided actions. Okay, let's get 4 tarot cards to give us a summary on this reading. All right, what do we need to know to just like summarize this energy? That. Ooh, Ace of Wands. Oh my gosh, new things, creative energy starting, new attraction, new passion. But this is like new ventures, new beginnings, births, even pregnancies. But this is a very virile time, very fertile, very exciting, lots of passion, lots of energy. This is the initial spark of creation, of inspiration from the creator. Ace of Wands is the first card in the pip suit, in the pip cards. So it's like, this is the moment where the light comes in through the crown chakra, and it's like, eureka, I feel inspiration. It's that raw potential, raw creative force. Okay. Knight of Swords. So this energy of like fast pace, like wanting to get in there and like take action and knowing what needs to be done and wanting to like go for it. The Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight in the deck, but don't be sloppy, don't cut corners, don't be hot-headed, don't be too pushy or forceful. Knight of Swords, the swords have to do with communication, and so the knight is taking action and maybe not necessarily the most matured or mastered, maybe still in the beginning or adolescent stages of something, but it's like, maybe I'm feeling like the jump in before you're started energy. It's like excitement to get going and like having that momentum. It could have to do with communications, literally starting something in the realm of like creativity, communications, speaking, or communicating with, you know, an individual or individuals about a thing. Okay. So 4 of Cups, the feeling of stagnation that's keeping you from really getting started. It's like you may have already just been a little bit tired and feeling burnt out through all the change and all the hard work you've already been putting in. And you're like, oh my God, I'm like getting started now. Oh, I'm dead. But it's like don't be complacent, don't be apathetic, just get in and jump in, because the excitement will move you. And what you need to do is just really balance self-care during this time and getting into super healthy routines so that you can feel like the vessel you need to feel like to show up, to do the light work that God has you here to do. And so you could be doing a thing that provides you a way to do your purpose and not put all the pressure on your purpose. You know, so it might require you to do some balancing and to work, you know, in parallel with something else. And so it's going to take your energy and your determination and your own self-starter energy, so you can't be apathetic. And then the High Priestess is here. Like, so I love this because there's things that we don't know. We need more research and we need to like learn a little bit more about what we're doing. And I love that she's like sitting here at the computer. And the High Priestess is not only just about intuitive guidance and intuitive instincts and powers and being connected with a higher guidance, Holy Spirit, also our subconscious, like this inner knowing and this inner connection to the greater mysteries. Sometimes it's like about revealing, there's like information that we don't know. And sometimes in a malicious way, it could be secrecy. But other times it's just like, there's just information and there's a lot that we don't know yet, right? We're just getting started. Right? But don't let that fear or that indecision hold you back. It's like you're gonna like learn as you go. So it's not like you're moving from like, it's like you're going from this to this. It's like you're acting like this sweatshirt child, like pouting. You're like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And you're like, girl, this is who you really are. look at these two characters. Like, it's like they're two of the same. It's like, this is the lower self and this is the higher self. And the higher self is like, hey, I have already done this. I am already here to mentor you and guide you. I am within you. This is you filled out. Like, you're here waiting for you to just show up and grab that cup and join your other skills and put them together and execute. So listen to that inner guidance calling you, and like jump on this power and this raw, like, in this momentum of the eclipse, because it's not like you need to make use of it. And then, like, if you do, it can keep propelling you. But if you kind of skip it and you're not involved in something right now that you want to build or change or grow, then you're gonna kind of miss the wave. So it needs to be something that you're really putting energy and focus and intention into, like during this time, especially over the next couple of weeks. It's fresh, or over the next day or so, try to like obsess over it in your mind and take action, as many actions as you can towards that. Okay, this is Angel Wisdom Tarot card. Oh my God, again, 4 of Cups. So failing to recognize a magical opportunity, missing the point, the distractions of daily life, discontent or boredom, lost in your own world, wake up. So this is twice now. It's like, wake up. Do not miss this opportunity. Do not sleep on an opportunity. If someone comes back from your past that you wish that you had more backbone and respected yourself and walked away from, then that's your chance to do that. If someone comes back from your past that you're like, man, I regret the way that things ended and I wish we could have had a heart to heart, then like open yourself up and do that. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Like if you have a business opportunity or an offer on your hand or an idea that you like feel there's something really there and you're not following it and you're not putting your energy into it, then like now's the time, like do it. This is the chance. This is the time where we get to start our new plot in the new show. So what is our first episode? Who's the character now? And what opportunities are being presented as we are being reintroduced to the character, reintroduced to life as we know it now, and it's about to turn around. It's about to get propelled. That's what happens at the beginning of any story. We meet the character where they're at in this moment, and then there's an inciting incident, and it propels the character onto the adventure that elevates them into the next level. So what is that going to be for us? Now, from the Moonology deck, we've got nothing is yet set in stone, a mutable moon. So everything is up in the air right now. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot that could change. So it's going to have to be up to us to like direct that energy, direct that force, direct our intention into creating something so we don't miss this opportunity to make something. Everything is all up in the air, right? And it's up to us to take those ingredients and do something with it, to take our fate and claim our destiny and change the fate that we were given. So nothing is set yet. Nothing is yet set in stone. I like the artwork on that. It's the ocean. And then the other card is nothing will come of the situation, void of course. So it's like there was like the outside influence. It's like you're making too big of a deal of this. Maybe something presents that you are like about to get all worried about, and it's not going to be anything. It's not going to turn into anything. It's not going to materialize, right? It might be a threat, or it might be like, what if this? And so just like focus on what your core vision is, and what your core desire is, and what your destiny is that you're claiming for yourself. And if something isn't aligned, then it will fall away, and you can trust that. And so don't do anything that's too reactive or grasping. Just take your time and see what is moving around in the universe right now. Might be just moving through. So embrace what is presenting right now over the next few weeks, but don't necessarily attach or hold on or like define exactly. Just observe and surrender, essentially, is like the energy. Don't get worked up about it. Just stay confident and certain in source and in this new chapter. And what's right will be coming along. And another reason why you don't want to make any like solid decisions or permanent things or do anything too fast right now is that because there are so many changes going on within you, you're up leveling, and so you're still settling into your new frequency. And so right now you may not call in, like for instance, something that's going to resonate with you in a few months or, you know, a few weeks, because you're still like coming into focus, so to speak. So it might be wise to have a great time at the moment. Don't close, you know, your heart to anything. It's anybody's game, it's anybody's guess, but like let the dust settle before you start taking anything, like take it with a grain of salt, for instance, but open to it because there's something to learn. Don't close anything out, like, you know, but don't take any crazy drastic action. Take everything slow. Like be open to, you know, hearing the idea, be open to, you know, brainstorming, be open to open-mindedness, so new ideas or hearing someone out, but just don't hold on. Don't get attached to it. Open is the key, because it might be just, it could be just passing through, could be a dead end, but you don't need to bypass this moment because you think it's that, because you just need to, that's what, just don't do anything crazy, right? But there may be a lesson that you need to revisit before the next moment before the next scene. We need to do some scene work here to establish the groundwork for the next scene. Okay, watch your thoughts. So for our manifestations over the next couple of weeks, and as we go forward through this eclipse, watch our thoughts. It's important to only think about what you desire, not what you fear. So definitely watch those thoughts. And if you feel like you are starting to go down the road of scarcity thinking, fearful thinking, crisis, disaster, catastrophe thinking, then shift into the literally record a fantasy for yourself in your mind of you living your best life, and make it like your go-to tape that you put in when you need to shift the tape. And just imagine yourself on your dream vacation, working it, like doing whatever it is that lights you up, with just like exactly the amount of money you need to feel good and safe and taken care of, with the people there that you want to be with, and just like whatever makes you feel so fulfilled and so full. Get that picture in your mind and like make that your go-to, and just keep training your mind on that. Playtime. The dolphins know the importance of playing, as joy creates miracles and manifestation. I meant to say this earlier and I think I got sidetracked, but it's important right now that we stay in a state of bliss and joy and gratitude and well-being and inner peace, because that's what the creator is. But that's also because the Holy Spirit, the blessing of the creator, can't connect with us if we're not in that state of joy. There's no resonance there. So we need that affinity with the creator. So nothing is worth getting our feathers ruffled. We need to maintain that joy and bliss. I mean, think about all of the ascended masters who just maintain this sense of well-being and inner peace. You know, like you see the images of, you know, like Jesus, even in his deepest like suffering, he understood that everything was all as it should be, you know, even though it was what he was facing, what seemed impossible and very difficult, but it was for the greater good. You know, it's a self-sacrifice that opened a portal for a new reality and a higher consciousness. So that's what we're doing right now too, is every time we self-sacrifice, we're doing it to open another portal and a higher reality for more of that Christ love to come through us and into us and be channeled through and radiate in everything that we do and touch. Soulmate relationship, new romance with a spiritual basis is here for you now. Soulmates can be long-term, temporary, they can be friends, they can be business people, they can be collaborators, they can be family members, but they can be romantic relationships. And in Kabbalah, we learned that a soulmate level relationship is like the highest level of relationship that a person can aspire to and attain and merit. And so that's when a person has been doing the inner work on their self, and they're up leveling, and their cup is full, and they know who they are enough, and they're, you know, ready to be shoulder to shoulder with an equal who's also done just enough to merit it. And then they can do life together side by side, and their union makes them stronger and even more together than they were separate. And then they have a positive effect on the world around them and at large. So that's what I understand soulmate relationships to be in the context of the one that we want in romantic sense. And then also like these soul contracts. We have these soulmate people that come into our life that we have soul contracts to play out with, and they teach us lessons, and the relationships can be very intense one way or the other, and they can be short-lived or long. But those relationships vary. Okay, and so my alarm went off for work, so I've got to wrap it up, and then I'll come back after work and finish this workshop. But we got treasure chest. An unforeseen windfall of abundance comes to you now. So this is like that moment where, you know, Jupiter is like connected with Taurus. The eclipses are like magnifying everything that you have ready for it to expand. And it's trying to get rid of anything that's like holding that back. It's trying to break those rubber bands, right? So that it can shoot you off into success and forward into this new timeline. So again, be ready. An unforeseen windfall of abundance comes to you now. Know what to do with that. Don't squander, don't waste it, don't blow it impulsively, but be intentful about how you want to use your money to create the life that you want for yourself, and even hopefully more money. More money begets more money if you know how to use it. So, all right, y'all, I will come back and we will pick up with our last few pulls, and ta-da, I'm back. Love doing that. All right, so where did we leave off before I went to work? We had just discovered that an unforeseen windfall of abundance is coming to us now. I'm actually feeling a little bit of deja vu. I feel like one other time the video got cut off because I had to go to work, and then I came home and we had treasure chest. It's like, ooh, bizarro world, it's all happening again. All right, so now we're gonna check in with our love lives to see what the Romance Angels Oracle cards are gonna tell us. And this is like, this particular lunation workshop, this is a new moon. So this is not only the seed level of the month, but this is like the seed level start new moon of like the next giant cycle of life. So this is really exciting. This is a great time to really be thinking and imagining and focusing on what you want to create. Or if you don't know what that is, then focus, and even if you do know what it is, but you don't need to know what that is. If you're like, no, I can't participate, I don't know what that is. Focus on the core desired feelings that you want to create in your life. That is both specific and general, because it doesn't necessarily give you something like a specific vessel you need to obsess over, but you know the essence of what you're working towards. And when things come in, you have a criteria to weigh them against, right? Is this in alignment with my core desired feelings? Like, there's no better way to use that method than in choosing jobs and romantic partners, right? It's like, yes, I may be attracted to this person and we may be compatible in a lot of ways, but when we're interacting and the way that our relationship goes, ultimately, most of the time, do I feel the way I want to feel within a relationship? Or am I in, more of the time, more often than not, in some sort of like, will he, won't he kind of like upset kind of thing? Do you see what I'm saying? It's easier to give this as an example in a job, or choosing a career, or deciding to go after like a vocation or a specific field or niche. And a lot of times we can imagine a job and romanticize it in our mind, but then when we actually get there into the job and start doing it, we didn't realize that the literal day-to-day was not going to be something that we enjoyed. Like, I wonder how many people who decide they want to be a doctor or an attorney, for instance, have really thought about the fact that they're going to spend every day at the hospital or every day, all day in court, you know? And so it's like, is that the feelings that you want to generate? Some people are really gung-ho and they want to do that, and that's great. That's why they're supposed to do that. But if you are, like for instance, I used to work in film and television production, and people would ask me about it a lot, because when we would go film places and people had never seen it all done, you know, they couldn't believe how much work and effort it took to do even the smallest thing. And it was, you know, it really illustrated to people that unless you truly love what you're doing and why you're doing it, then it is not going to be satisfying, right? Unless you actually like the day in and day out of it. You know, it's like I can think about, oh, wouldn't it be fun to be a college professor? But I'm only thinking about the part where I'm walking through campus and I'm wearing something awesome that a professor would wear, and I'm like saying hi to my students, and you know, I'm the cool philosophy professor and everybody wants to be in my class, like Barbara Streisand from The Mirror has two faces, and it's fall and the band is practicing on the football field and the leaves are dropping, and I'm not thinking about like faculty meetings and grading midterm papers and like lesson planning and then like, you know, teaching a class every day. Like I probably just end up winging it and like channeling the class and not planning. Like, as I would hate that part. I don't like it. A lot of people wanted me to be in production, like in the department in production within film production. And it's all about planning and logistics and troubleshooting. And I'm really good at that kind of thing. I'm really good at coordinating things like that and figuring out problems. But I hate doing it. It's like so dry. I don't like using my genius and creativity for that. I'd rather be doing something that's going to have an effect on the emotional or visual quality of the film. So think about that as you are planting your seeds for this new beginning. You don't have to know exactly what it's going to look like, and it's almost better that you don't, because you want to give creator like the go ahead to surprise you and to surprise you in a way that like you wouldn't have even thought that for yourself. You wouldn't have expected that much, right? You wouldn't have thought it was possible. So, you know, get clear on how you want to feel and the essence of the life that you're wanting to build, and that will give you so much more to work with, and so much, it'll take a lot of the pressure off too, and it'll give you, like I said, criteria to weigh things against when opportunities present and you're like, is this an opportunity or a test? I don't know. Well, is it in alignment with your values, with your goals, with your core desired feelings, with what you want to experience on a day-to-day basis? And that's a good start right there. Okay, so for our love life, make the effort. Great love is worth taking steps you're guided to take. What is this? Trust. The situation is calling for you to have faith. So if you're like, yeah, I don't know what's going on in my love life, like I'm feeling a little bit like uncertain, well, get out there and put yourself out there and make an effort. In these modern times, we really have to try to interact with people and put ourselves into environments where we're kind of meeting new people and we're forced to interact together. It's all too easy to just isolate in this digital age where we're all so connected online. And then that becomes like the junk food that we fill up on. And then we didn't save room. We're satiated, so we don't do the quality, the high value socializing and communing. So it takes an effort now, and even a strategy. And also like to be relaxed and not be too controlling about it. And it's just like everything all at once. But make an effort, you know, put yourself out there, take a risk, be a little bit flirty, be playful. Don't be shut down or shut off. If you want to take a risk and talk to someone, or, you know, ask somebody out, or just realize that it may be a no. It may blow up in your face. It may not work, but just give yourself permission to start trying. Trust the process. Trust that there is a person for you. It's like when you're single for a long time and you haven't really met anyone that you like have a crush on in a long time, and you haven't even met anybody that you're attracted to in a long time, and you haven't even talked to a new person that you've even found interesting in a long time, you kind of start to feel like maybe that's it. There's no more human beings on earth that are compatible with you anymore. And just trust that that's probably the truth. You're gonna be alone forever. I'm kidding. Then just trust that of course, there are millions of people that you could probably connect and be compatible with. That there's probably a reason why being alone for this moment is beneficial for you. If you're in a situation that you're hoping, can heal, or that you're working on or evolving, trust that just make an effort, right? Trust that good things can happen. Trust that things can work out. Just trust. The situation is calling for you to have faith. All right, make an effort, have faith, trust, put yourself out there, be approachable, take invitations, like follow, your interests and little things that you want to do that, you think are going to be fun. I mean, it might be like one day you might think, oh, I'm going to go to this little store or the shop nearby. I don't know why I shouldn't be going to the shop. I have no business going to that shop, but maybe I should. And you never know who you'll talk to that day, that you might meet someone at the shop, or you might have a conversation that sets like a domino effect, in motion, that ends up leading you into an opportunity or going somewhere else that like introduces you to the person. So make an effort, trust, listen to those little pings and hunches you get like that, like, go eat at this place, or, go there now, or, you never know where those could lead or what could happen once you get there. Children may be affecting your love life. So it could be someone's children that are affecting your situation, and you might not even know it, right? It could be affecting their, thought process, and maybe they're hanging back and they haven't even approached you yet. Maybe you're in a situation where children are affecting your situation. Maybe they're your children and you're looking for someone who has the kind of values that you're looking for someone who can be, a part of, an addition to your family, and an authority figure, or not authority figure, but like a someone who could potentially be a good adult figure in your family unit adjacent to your children. But so, yeah, you want someone with the values that you uphold and share. Maybe that person's priorities right now are on their children, and they have like things that are taking precedence before their love life or dating life. So if you are in a situation with someone and you're like, I don't know, they seem to be like their energy is shifted, maybe just trust the situation and make an effort to trust the situation, and maybe just don't take it personally. Maybe it's just like it's children that are affecting the situation right now. Now, I always like to consider the inner child inside that is affecting our love life at this moment, and that is always an ongoing process to tend to that inner child and reparent that inner child so that we can be an adult to our potential romantic partners that we have. We don't want to reparent our romantic partner. Many times the reflex is to do that. Like, you feel like that person needs to mature in an area, or they need to be better about something or doing something. And then you get into this role of like parenting them, and it damages the relationship. It takes you completely out of the romantic dynamic of sexual chemistry, and it puts you into a familial dynamic of nagging. But so don't reparent your romantic partner. Know that the best thing that you can do is work on your own inner child. We can't heal other people's. We can just do the work ourselves, and then maybe they're interested in learning like how we have accomplished the healing that we have. But the more that we heal that inner child, I think the better we'll set ourselves up for having successful relationships, because we'll have a deeper sense of security, confidence, and deservingness. All right. The weirdest thing, I always hear the ice maker like dropping ice cubes and settling, you know, that noise that the refrigerator does. Except I don't have an ice maker, so I don't know what that noise is when it happens. I'm just like, what? Okay, all right, I'm gonna throw the deck. Wedding. This situation involves marriage. So this could mean many things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to marry this person. It could mean that, like, you're starting to, like, if you're totally single and you want to be married, it's like you're starting to approach dating in a new way, in a different way than you would if you were just meeting people and having experiences. So your romantic life, if that's what you want ultimately, is to get married, and you're ready to start meeting people who are also looking to potentially meet their spouse, then that changes the situation for you. And you might be considering children and the kind of person that you want to raise kids with. That could be part of it. There might be... you might be in a marriage, and we're in eclipse season, so if you are transitioning out of a marriage, you might be preoccupied with like how this is affecting your children at the moment, and make an effort to consciously uncouple so that everyone can go through it without feeling more and more wounded, to feel supported within an exit like that. Me and my friend at work tonight were talking about breakups and how it's so nice when you get one that doesn't end messy. You can't always control that. Sorry, my eyes are watering from like pollen and stuff. You can't always control that, but when you do, it's so nice to not make something messy if it doesn't have to be. If you can end on a high note and on a positive note, with like good, just like, you know, good feelings between you. No hard feelings. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like, trust that if you're like, I want to get married and I want to meet someone, make an effort and trust that there is someone out there for you. And then, you know, this could mean, you know, someone, if you're in a situation that's got some tumultuousness in it, and there are children involved, and it involves marriage, then that probably means that there's an ex-spouse that is an issue, or that is preventing, or it's having an effect on the person's ability to date. Let's just put it that way. And that can mean a lot. Like, some people have a really like great situation with their ex-spouse, and they are great co-parents, and they're not weird about the other person's romantic life, but that probably takes a while, and it probably takes stages, and it takes distance from a breakup, or unless that breakup was really super mutual. So if you're in a situation that's a little bit complicated but not shady, maybe just trust that there's real genuine feeling and potential here, that there's just a lot of things that are also involved that are important priorities, and maybe make the effort. Maybe you can get to the other side of it. All right, and let's get some advice from Mother Mary, Jesus's mother. Let's see what she has to say. Going to be a long workshop because I started over when I came home with fresh energy, and now it's like, ooh, oh love, oh my goodness. Eee. Love is the answer to all of my questions. You know, it's funny, this other reader that I was just like watching this morning was talking about that. She was like, Spirit, like anytime I ask any questions lately, the answer is focus on love. She was like, if I ask about what I should do about like the auto mechanic that I should take my car to recently, it's like, just focus on love. And she was in Tractor Supply store, and somebody walked up to her and just like oddly just like handed her like a piece of card like this, and she grabbed the card like reluctantly, and it was basically an oracle card that said love, and it had a beautiful pink rose, and it was like like one of those holograms that like when you did like this the bloom like blossomed, and there was like a Bible verse or something on the back. But she was like, oh my gosh, like it's a confirmation, like they've been telling me to focus on love. So she was like, anything that I do right now, I'm just like focusing on love. Like the mug that I drink out of, I love my mug. And I was like, I love my mug, I am totally down with that. So it's like, just like marinate yourself in love. Everything that you surround yourself with. I love this pillow, I love this like pajama that I'm wearing, I love to sleep in this the most, it's the most comfortable. I love this cardigan, like this is my favorite mug. Like do all of that stuff. Surround yourself. These flowers, this is love. Love flowers. Love surrounding myself with flowers. I love these colors. These are beautiful colors. When you put beauty around you, it enhances just feelings of love, because you're like, oh, I love my surroundings. Ooh, I love that way that smells. Ooh, I love this. I love the way that everything. Just love everything. Be totally focused in love right now, because we want our consciousness to be in that unwavering state of love, unconditional, eternal, unwavering. And that way, this new cycle is being seeded in like pure love, and that will put so much blessing and so much potential and so much expansion around it. Okay, and last but certainly not least, let's get some loving words from Jesus. Oh, you know what, I'm missing one of the cards. All right, I didn't want to leave that one out. Let's see. These cards are great. It's like the thing that Jesus's dialogue from the Bible, all the verses that were things Jesus said. Loving words from Jesus to think about, like the new moon flavors the month, the whole month. That's what I was talking about earlier. So we're thinking in terms of like not only the next 2 weeks as we're gaining that light, that energy in the month, and we're really putting in our focus and our effort in this first 2 weeks. The whole month kind of has the theme of Aries and this, you know, whole brand new beginning. Oh, this is one of my favorites. According to your faith, be it unto you. So believe. The situation involves trust, right? The situation is calling for you to have faith. Watch your thoughts, right? Windfalls coming in, you know, the cards are like love, soulmate. This situation involves marriage. Like you never know, right? There's a lot of people in the world, so we could all be, you know, catching different layers of this reading. But this is a big turning point, and big life changes are happening, and we're going through this portal of this huge new expansive time. So big opportunities, maybe in love and money, are going to be on the table this year, hopefully. So yeah, this feels like, you know, it's the seed level are things that we're going to see the sparks of this month, maybe. But this reading does feel a little bit more expansive than just the usual new moon readings for the month. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out over the next 6 months, and then, you know, seeing that. What is it going to be? The Aries full moon come fall. So, in our next eclipse season. So we'll see how that shakes out. But yeah, according to your faith, be it done unto you. Be it unto you. So believe it, name it, claim it, call it in, y'all. All right. Happy new moon solar eclipse in Aries. Happy freaking entry into the new timeline. I mean, it's crazy, y'all. Ciao.